City Bombers, this is Denny Sheng again here. I was going to make another quick video on custom graphic settings, or just how you have a custom sort of setup. I did a custom HUD already, but this is basically if you see somebody's in-game, like you've been watching YouTube and you see a guy's settings and you say, hey, those look nice, I like the graphics, and you manage to get his config, and then you sort of have problem getting it in. So anyway, let's look how we do that. So first thing I do is I again go down to where my setup is going to be, so I can go to my recent places because I'm usually messing around in there, so I know where it is. It's under config. You notice I have a couple of folders here. Actually, I created these and I put different people's configs in here, and the game doesn't care about those. It just, you know, I can leave them there and I can have different configs and copy them in and out as I want to try different ones. But so there's mine. I always make sure I have a backup of my config in case I need to go back. So so what I'm going to do first here is, here's the config. This is basically all your graphics settings, all your niceties of the game. And what I can do is, this is my one, which is the default. Sorry, not default, but my modified one, which is based on Outsiders. So I'm actually going to delete it, and I'm not going to have anything in there. I can close this down. So I have no config now. I can launch the game, and the game will actually create a brand new shooterengine.ini file. So the ini file is just a text file. It's like a CFG file. Basically, it's a configuration file that loads every time you start the game. So it's going to create this config file, and here it loads up. And if you go and have a look at the settings, if I go up here and I have a look at my video settings now, advanced, I can actually see everything. I've got high, certain things are on, certain things are off, and then you have little sort of, what do they mean, very generic descriptions of these things. Actually, you can Google them and get a much better description of what they are, but basically they make the game look nice, which is what the developers want it to look as nice, because people like fancy glitter and lights. So anyway, so I'll close this up. I'm not going to play in this because I'm going to show you some footage of this config. So let me get out of here, exit. So here I have one called high, and this is actually in-game footage of that configuration. So you can see I still have my HUD. Remember, I generated a HUD, but there's bushes in this. You can see there's bushes around. It's harder for me to see the enemies because there's a lot of clutter in this. I'm going to kill myself here quickly. But as you notice as I look around, for me as a player of, and I played a lot of different games, it's just harder to see things because there's so much on this map. So as you notice here, I'm trying to hit a couple of guys, but it's hard to see them. So anyway, I try and nade them. I'm going to get taken out over here by proxy, and then I'll kill her with martyrdom. So anyway, that's what that looks like with a fancy, nice graphics. So let's close that down. So again, now I have that default config in there. So if I go back to the location where it is, I go into my recent places, and I go into my config, it's created, and here it is. This is the new, brand new one with a nice new graphics. I could go into Denny's, grab this, and go back and overwrite that one, and I'll have my brand new settings back in. But I want to show you a couple of things here. One thing you've got to be careful of, some of these I've downloaded, and look what it's called. These, some of them have been called text files. You got to be very careful you don't copy this into that location because it won't run. It has to be an ini file. So for safety reasons, why don't I just do this? Why don't I go to my config, or the one I wanted, the guys I liked, open it up, grab everything out of there, copy it, minimize it, go back, go to my new one. Now this should not be read-only because the game generated it. So I'm going to leave it as the default, copy and paste, Control V, close it. It says you want to save. I say yes, yes. Now what I do is I say read-only, apply. Now I have whoever's config I wanted is now in that file, and when I launch the game, like I'm going to do now, it'll have that new configuration file. as long as I made it readme and as long as I copied everything in. So let's just check this quick. So again, just go to my settings, go to video, go to advanced. So there's a whole lot of stuff off. It doesn't just change things in here. It changes things that are not visible here too. So don't just be fooled by changing a couple of these things. You'll have the same config, because there's other things that you actually change. There's values in there that you change. So close this up. I'm not going to play a game because I have some footage. So let's go to my mine, which is the one I use. You'll notice I have my frames over here being displayed. That command is just stat_fps in the console. But can you see how more visible it is? There's no bushes. I know there's guys over there. I can take this guy down. There's other guys coming in to help, so I'm going to nade around there a bit. But it's just a lot more fluid and visible for me to see these guys. So anyway, let's go around. We take this guy down. She gets sniped, proxy. And there's a proxy around here. I managed to get her luckily because I think she was reloading. But so anyway, it's just more visible, more fluid. So some people are going to say, well, it's almost like cheating because it's easier to see, but these are commands that allow to be changed in the game. So anyway, I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. But that's basically the way that you copy in a config. And that's all for now. Thanks guys, thanks for watching.